Hi, and welcome back to Living Inspired with Autism. This is a space for parents of autistic children who want to feel calmer and stronger and more in control of their lives, not just surviving them. I'm Antoinette, life coach, mom to my own autistic son, Max, and someone who deeply understands both the beauty and the exhaustion of this journey. Now, today I want to talk about something that came up in the masterclass last week. One of the participants was saying that she's constantly having to police herself to accommodate other people. And I don't think we talk about this enough. So let's dive in. This episode is for you if this is what you feel like. You're constantly editing yourself. You're watching what you say. You're managing other people's reactions. You're explaining your child. You are softening things, making it easier. You are bracing yourself before you walk into a room. And you are tired. And I'm not talking just about physically tired, but soul tired. Because it feels like you're always on duty. Now, there's a job that many parents of autistic children do, and nobody trains you for it. And that job is managing other people or trying to manage other people, trying to manage their expectations, trying to manage their discomfort, trying to manage their confusion, trying to manage their judgment. And the way we do that is by policing ourselves. We choose our words carefully. We downplay things. We over-explain. We apologize when we shouldn't. We prepare speeches in our head before we even speak to somebody. And it becomes exhausting because instead of just living your life, you are constantly managing or trying to manage. So let me give you an example. Perhaps you're out somewhere and your kiddo is dysregulated and people are looking. And suddenly your brain goes into overdrive and you start thinking, what should I say? Do I need to explain? Are they judging me? Do I need to make this more comfortable for them? And before you know it, you aren't present with your child anymore. You are performing. You are looking outwards. You are trying to manage. You are policing yourself. And I want to say this with so much compassion. Of course, that's what you do. Because you care. Because you don't want your child to be misunderstood. Because you don't want conflict. You just want things to feel easier. And you want to feel accepted. You want your child to be accepted. And because for many of us, we have learned that it feels safer to adjust ourselves than to let other people feel uncomfortable. Because here's the truth. That strategy comes at a cost. Something we can't afford. It costs your energy. And for us, energy is everything. It's your ability to stay calm, to think clearly, to lead your child, to enjoy your life. And when you're constantly monitoring yourself, you drain that energy. Your attention is all over the place. You lose your center. And then we wonder why we feel overwhelmed. It's not just what you're doing. It's how much of yourself you are holding back while doing it. Today, I want to offer you something different. A shift from responsive living to self-leadership. Now, responsive living sounds like, what are they thinking? How will I make it easier for them? How do I explain this properly? But self-leadership sounds like, I know what's going on here. I'm okay. I'm grounded. I can handle this. I don't need to manage anyone else. Do you feel the difference? The one is scattered. The other one is very much anchored. Remember, you're not here to manage everyone else's experience of your life. You're not here to educate every stranger or to justify your child or make everyone feel comfortable or translate your life into something that's more digestible for others, you can if you choose to, but you don't have to. And that distinction, my friends, is everything. What does leadership actually look like? Because I'm not suggesting that you become cold or dismissive. This is not about shutting people down. It's about how you show up. Leadership looks like calm presence, clear energy, deciding what matters, not over-explaining. It's not loud or defensive. It is grounded. So let's go back to the public moment for a moment. Your kiddo's dysregulated. Now, instead of rushing to explain or feeling flustered or trying to manage the room, you just take a deep breath. You take a moment, you stay with your child, and if someone asks or looks at you, you can respond and say, "My child's just overwhelmed right now." But you don't have to. And that's it. There's no performance, there's no over-explaining, there's no making yourself smaller. It's just clarity. Now, this is where your power comes from. It's not from controlling the situation, but from deciding who you are in it. And this ties so deeply into something I teach very often. Your life is shaped by your choices. Not just circumstances, not other people, your choices. So the question becomes, who are you choosing to be in these moments? Okay, and if you're listening to this now and you're thinking, yes, I am so tired of feeling this. Yes, I want to feel more in control. Yes, I want to show up differently. That is exactly the work we do inside the Successful Autism Family Blueprint. Because this is not about just learning a few scripts. This is about regulating your nervous system, giving yourself the resources, becoming the kind of parent who leads their life instead of reacting to it. And inside the blueprint, we build inner stability so you don't get thrown by every situation. The connection code so you stay connected to yourself and your child, especially when it matters. And the and life philosophy so you don't lose yourself in the process. So if this is speaking to you, come and join us because you don't have to do this alone. Now let's go deeper. Because self-policing doesn't only show up when you're in public. It shows up everywhere. It shows up in conversations with family, with teachers, with therapists, with friends. You edit yourself. You make things smaller. You try to make things easier for them to hear. And I want to say something that feels a little bold. You don't need to explain everything. You don't. Now, there are moments where explanations are useful, but many times it just becomes a habit, like a reflex, a way of managing discomfort. And not their discomfort, yours. So what if instead of explaining everything, you trusted that not everyone needs to understand, not everyone needs the full story, not everyone needs to agree, and that's okay, because your job is not to make your life make sense to everyone else. Your job is to live your life. Let's talk about authority for a moment. And this is not about being harsh. It's about being calm and steady and certain. And it doesn't rush, it doesn't over-explain, and it doesn't collapse under pressure. It simply is. And when you step into that energy, people feel it. You don't need to convince, you don't need to justify, you just lead. How do you actually start doing this? So let me give you a simple example. Notice when you're policing yourself. Catch the moment. When you feel yourself pulling tighter, editing, overthinking, just notice it. No judgment here, okay? Then you take a breath. Nice, long, deep breath. And that breath interrupts the pattern. And then ask yourself, what would leadership look like right now? I'm not talking about doing it perfectly or in control, just leadership. And then respond if that's what you want to do. Short, clear, grounded, no speech, one sentence, if that's what you want to do. And when you start doing this, something very interesting happens. You feel less drained, more present, more connected to yourself and your kiddo, more in control. And the situation often becomes easier, not because you controlled it, but because you stopped fighting it. Now, remember, people will think what they think. They are going to have opinions no matter what. No matter what you say, no matter how perfectly you explain, no matter how much you soften it. So if that's true, why exhaust yourself trying to manage it? And here's something else that matters. Your child is watching you. They're not listening to your words. They are feeling your energy. And they are learning how to handle pressure through you, how to exist in the world through you, how to respond to discomfort through you. And when they see that you're grounded and that you're not frantic and apologetic, they feel safer because you've got their back. You've got your own back, you've got their back. This is what this episode is actually really about. It's about taking your power back, not from other people, but from the patterns that keep you stuck. Because right now, you may be giving your power away in those small, little, subtle ways. Every time you over-explain or over-adjust or over-manage, you step out of your center. And today, we are stepping back into it. You don't need to be perfect at this. And you don't need to get it right every time. This is just a practice, a gentle returning back to yourself again and again. So if this episode resonated with you, if you are ready to stop living in reaction and start leading your life with calm and strength and authority, I do invite you to join the Successful Autism Family Blueprint. This is where we do the real work, not surface level stuff, but deep, lasting transformation, so that you can feel regulated, resourced, and ready for life, ready for your child, ready for yourself. So come and join us. So thank you for being here today. And remember, you don't have to explain your life to lead it. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.